Hi friends, my name is Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the Mama Bear book tag. Alright, this tag was created by Taylor over at Tales and Treats for Tay. I absolutely love her channel and definitely recommend that you check her out if you haven't. So I'll link her video explaining this tag. I think it's so neat that she created her own tag and really loved that it had everything to do with moms and motherhood. So I'll put her video below, so I definitely recommend that you check her out. Also, I was tagged for this tag by Anne from In Search of Wonder. So I will also leave her channel listed below so you can check both of them out, and I would definitely recommend that. So before we get started, I am going to be using books, some books that I've read, some books that are on my TBR. So I will try to let you know if I haven't read them or if I have when I answer these questions. So I'll let you know with that. And then the other thing, I just wanted to kind of give a little brief family story so that you kind of knew a little bit about my motherhood journey and how I came to be a mom. So I do have 5 kids. We are a blended family, so when I married my husband, he had 3 biological children and 1 stepdaughter. And so you can see, sort of, there's our wedding picture. It's very hard to see, but we have 4 littles there with us. So anyway, then after we got married, we had 1 child together. So that's our youngest son. So the younger 3 live in our home, and so you may have seen them in some vlogs or videos. So I just wanted to share that little bit about our family, and I have absolutely loved being in their lives, being a stepmom, being a bonus mom, whatever you want to call it. It has been such a blessing for me. I felt like, you know, very included and involved in their lives, and I love them very much. And I know that it is difficult sometimes to blend families, and obviously divorce is difficult, and you know, this wasn't God's design for the family, but he is still good and still brings about good things through it. So I'm very thankful for that. And I just love my family. So I'm excited to do this. I do have 1 answer that is related to my mom, but the rest are all kind of geared towards my kiddos. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have the questions over here, so I might be glancing at my computer while I'm doing this. So the first question is a book cover that is mostly their favorite color. So this one was pretty easy for me. My youngest son, his favorite color is red right now, and this book, The All-American by Susie Finkbeiner, is also about baseball, which he currently plays baseball, and so this just reminds me of him. I have not read this one. I have read one of Susie Finkbeiner's books, historical fiction, and it was really good, so I'm really looking forward to this one. This is also historical fiction, obviously about a girl playing baseball, so I'm excited to read this one. Okay, next is a book published in the year they were born. So definitely the easiest one for this one would be my youngest, because it's kind of hard to like go back and find books that I own that were came out when the older kids were born. So the one for that one I have is If I Run by Terry Blackstock. This is the first book in a trilogy. I've only read the first one. Hopefully I'll be getting to the other 2 soon, but I definitely really enjoyed this one. So I don't know why I haven't continued. I think I might need to reread this before I continue on in the series, because it definitely like prepared you for the next book, and I want to remember all the good things that went on in here. This was a really quick read. It is Christian like suspense thriller kind of. I forgot to say that this is also Christian historical fiction. So, but anyway, I definitely recommend If I Run by Terry Blackstock. And it was published in 2016, which is the year that my youngest son was born. Next question is a book set in their favorite season or the season they were born in. So here's another little thing about our family. All 5 of our kids' birthdays are in the span of 2.5 months. So we start at the end of April, and then they all have birthdays. 1 in April, 2 in May, 1 in June, and then 1 at the beginning of July. So within 2.5 months, we have all 5 birthdays, and our wedding anniversary is right in the middle of that. So it's a busy time around here, and we're right in the middle of that time right now. So that's really spring and summer, kind of like going from spring into summer, but I went ahead and just went with the best summer of our lives because it said summer in the title and looks summery, and we all, I think for the most part, like summer in this house. So anyway, I have not read this one. This is a pretty new book for me. It was in a recent book haul, but I'm really looking forward to it. This is Christian. It's historical as far as it's not set in the present time, but I don't know how historical it is, if that makes sense. But it also has some like Oklahoma ties. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Okay, this one is fun. This is a book title starting with a letter in their first name. So I didn't exactly do it that way. What I did was I looked at my shelves at my longer titles and tried to find a book that the title included, like just in the words, any letter. The first letter from each of their names. Does that make sense? Okay, so I did find The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp by Sarah Brunsfold. So on this cover, I could find the first letter for all of the kids' names. So I needed a T, I needed a D, I needed an F, I needed an M, and I needed a B. So with the title and the author's name, I got all of their first initials in here, and so that was exciting. This is the book I chose for that. This is a Christian contemporary about an aging woman who is, I think, like working with a journalist. I don't know, I probably shouldn't say too much because I haven't read this and I don't remember exactly what it's about, but I do know that everyone really seems to like it and I really want to try it. Okay, next is a book character that reminds you of them, and boy, this was hard. I did decide to go with Bless Your Heart Ray Sutton because she has a teenage daughter in this, and it's been a little while since I've read it, but I really enjoyed this book, and I think I can remember really enjoying the teenage daughter character, especially because I felt like she was so kind and thoughtful and mature, and even though she like was still a teenager and had teenager things, just like her heart towards her mother was really kind and understanding about the situation that they were in. And so I picked this just like reminding me of my 2 daughters because they are both just like thoughtful and kind teenagers and very like grace-filled and understanding and mature. I mean, they have their moments, obviously all teenagers do, but I was just really excited that the teenager in this book was represented that way, and I felt like it represents my daughters, so choosing this one for that. Okay, next is a book with something that they love or love to do. So I don't have the physical copy yet because it is not out yet, but for that I picked The Nature of Disappearing by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. This book comes out June 18th, and I just recently read the arc of it. Kimmy Cunningham Grant is one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author at this point after reading this book. I loved it very much and I wanted to have the opportunity to talk about it, so here we are. It is a thriller set in the woods, and the main character, Emlyn, is a like fishing and hunting guide. So one of my sons, my middle son, he really wants to kind of like go into, maybe not that, but like park ranger or something like that. Like that's something that's really interested him. And all of the boys and one of our girls, so basically 4 out of the 5 of our kids really like to fish. That's something my husband likes to do, and so this just reminded me of them because Emlyn likes to fish, and that's just like big part of the story. They're in the wilderness a lot, so yeah, I chose that one. Okay, the next one is a book you've enjoyed or think you've enjoyed together or think that you would enjoy together. And so for that one, I chose Hatchet because I have read this with the older kids and we loved it. I loved this book as a child. I haven't read it with my youngest son yet, but I have a feeling he's gonna love it as well. I just feel like it's such a good book and we have good memories from reading this together. Okay, so for the next question, it's a book that you would recommend or have recommended to them. So I'm going to choose our youngest daughter for this one because she's definitely the one that reads the most, or the most like me, or I don't know, she's just a reader. And so I recently recommended The Inheritance Games to her. I have only read the first book, and so I gave that to her to read. I don't have it because she has since passed it on to one of her friends because she really loved it, and she also went on with the entire series. I did not. So that is one of them. And then also I have recommended When the Day Comes to her. She hasn't read it yet, but I think that she wants to, and I think she's going to really love it. Okay, next is a book they recommend or they choose your next read. So for this one, I'm actually going to talk about my mom, who I love very much. And she recommended Amy Snow to me by Tracy Reese, and I read this last year and really loved it. It was an excellent recommendation. It's historical fiction, really good story, and so I wanted to share that one. Last question is a book showing strong motherhood. So for that one, the book that always comes to my mind right away when I hear that question is River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer. This is her debut novel and she did an excellent job. This is a story about an enslaved woman in the Caribbean who escapes. She flees from slavery and goes on this adventure to find her children because she had children while she was enslaved and they were taken from her or, you know, moved to different places. So she is on this journey to restore her family, find her children, and it is a beautiful story. It's heartbreaking, but done so well. And also like heartwarming and just shows the love and determination of a mother so well. So I highly recommend this book. I also did on Mother's Day a reel with or an Instagram reel, but also it was a YouTube short with recommendations for books with like strong motherhood or mother figures in there. So I will link that down below too if you'd like to check out some more. But this story is just all about being a mom and the love and strength of motherhood. So that's like this entire book. All right, so those are all the questions for the tag. I'm not going to specifically tag anyone, but if you are watching this, consider yourself tagged if you have not done this. I would love to see your video, and I just think it's so fun that Tay came up with this. And so Taylor, thank you so much for creating this tag. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.